In this video, I will talk about the sidebar in Google Sheets. First of all, what is a sidebar? Well, it's a panel that slides in from the right, and you can place UI elements inside it to enhance the functionalities of your Google Sheets. You can do a lot with these sidebars, from small tasks like assigning your recorded macros or app script functions to these UI elements, to more significant tasks like performing integrations with other apps. For example, you can connect to other Google apps like the Chat app, Google Drive, Gmail, Google Calendar, Tasks, and BigQuery, or even do third-party API integrations. It's basically up to you where you want to take it. Now, how do you build these user interfaces? Google has allowed the building of user interfaces with the help of HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. You can use any modern JavaScript framework like React, Vue, or Angular. Don't worry if you're not familiar with these things. Nowadays, it's very easy to use already existing interfaces and then customize them with the help of ChatGPT or Copilot. So let's get started. First, open the editor by clicking on the extensions and then Apps Script. There are two types of files that you can create here. Type 1 is a script that will contain your app's script code, which generally communicates with your Google Sheet or other apps like Docs, Gmail, Slides, etc. Type 2 is HTML. In this file, you can input HTML, JavaScript, and CSS code that will be executed in the browser and will be responsible for building the UI for the sidebar or web application. You can also call the functions defined in the Type 1 script file from the HTML file. Let's start by building our first sidebar. First, we need something to click that will open the sidebar. So, let's build a menu for that. This is the code that will create a custom menu, and in it, I have added a menu item called Show Simple Sidebar that will call the function called Show Sidebar. Let's test it. I am reopening my sheet. Here, you see the custom menu. But when I click Show Sidebar, it throws an error. Why? Because we have not implemented the Show Sidebar function yet. Let's do that. Now, as I have told you already, we will make UI for the sidebar using HTML. So let's add a new HTML file. This is the simple content to start with. Now let's implement the Show Sidebar function. It's using HTML service to create HTML output that is then rendered inside our sidebar. It takes the title of the sidebar and the name of the HTML file to construct the user interface. Let's test it again. Now, when we click it for the first time, it will ask us to authorize the code. Go ahead and grant all the necessary permissions. Now click on the menu again. Yes, we got our new sidebar. Now let's make it more functional. I will record macros for formatting my sheet. Let me do it fast. After that, I will find this macro in the script named macros.js. Then I need to call this function from our Simple Sidebar. In the Simple Sidebar HTML file, we need to edit the function pass to the onClick method. I will simply change it to google.script.run format my sheet. This is how you call Google Script function from the client side or HTML page rendered in the browser. You will be doing lots of such calls when you are building add-ons. I will post the links to references if you want to learn more about google.script.run method. Let's test this. If I click this button, see what happens. Yes, it does format our sheet. You can leverage this to do repetitive tasks and assign those to buttons in the UI. Cool, isn't it? Now moving on, let me show you another sample. In this case, we will use a JavaScript framework and a CSS framework to make things easier. This way, even if you are not an HTML and CSS expert, you can create well-functional user interfaces. I will use Buofi, which is a Vue.js-based CSS framework. I will head to their Get Started page and copy this code and paste this into a new HTML file. I will call it Buofi Sidebar. Let me add another hero section also just to make it look nicer. And let me add another menu item called Show Buofi Sidebar. Let's add another function called Show Buofi Sidebar. This will create a sidebar using the code contained inside the Buofi Sidebar HTML template. Let's test this. Go to our custom menu, then click on Show Beauty Sidebar. There you have it. Now let's take it further and make it actually useful. We will use this sidebar for creating a data entry form. Let me add another HTML file called data entry form. I will paste this code. I have taken help from the Beauty docs. It provides several components for different input types. You can read more about it later. I will post the link in the description. Let me open the HTML file again. Here, I have defined logic to render different HTML input tags depending on the form field's type defined in the form schema below. I have defined a form schema so that you can very easily edit this schema to customize this form. It contains an array of all the form fields that you want in your form. Each field has properties like name, label, type, placeholder, required, max length for text, and max min for number inputs. You can add or remove the fields. You can just edit this schema and you will be good to go. Coming to methods. I have defined the submit form method to submit our form. This is calling the append to Google Sheet function that will append the form data to the Google Sheet. On success, it will reset the form as defined inside the success handler and raise a success toast message. If this feels like too much, then don't worry. To customize it, you just need to edit the form schema. Let me quickly add menu item called Show Data Entry Form and also add the corresponding function called Show Data Entry Form that will render data entry form HTML file. We also need to add append to Google Sheet function that will append the data to the sheet received from the sidebar form. Let's test this. We will do some fake entries to see if it's working. Working great. Now, if you remember my previous video on the query function, I utilized Sidebar to build my query function tutorial. Let me show you that spreadsheet along with the source code. This is the spreadsheet displaying Sidebar to assist me with writing queries in the active sheet. Let me show you the source code. So here in the HTML file, you can see I have used an accordion template. For that, I have referred to Beauty collapse component. Go to the collapse menu. From there, I have copied this code for making accordion-like collapse behavior. Then inside this file, I have added a few methods that will call my Google script code, which will finally insert the query formula in the sheet. So that was cool, isn't it? If you take help from some existing library and frameworks, you can make a decent application with little knowledge also. I hope you liked the video. In future, I will try to make more detailed video about the sidebar form with clear explanation. For this time, I have posted link to all the references and docs. If you are new to this channel, then please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.